Welcome to Bloody Flicks. I'm your host, Pete.
I'm Kyle, and we talk about all things bloody.
And today we're going to review the movie
The Loved Ones.
The Loved Ones.
So this was supposed to be our Valentine's Day horror movie of the year, but
Not our Valentine's Day.
well, yeah. Our Valentine's Day review. There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, sounds a little better.
Yeah. But of course, we got behind, so we're doing it.
Whoa,
now.
wait, whoa, with the behind stuff. Come on, man. Holy crap. Not like that.
Yeah.
But hey, he came up with this movie. He goes, I watched this movie, The Loved Ones. Told me about it. Well, actually, you said, we're reviewing this movie. But we did not get it out of Valentine's Day in time, so.
So actually, what made me think of this movie was a while ago, another YouTuber that I watched, Drum Dums, and the Facebook page Killer Flicks, they were talking about this movie, The Loved Ones, and it kind of piqued my interest, so I went and bought it and watched it, and I'm like, okay, it's okay.
I was wondering how you saw that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's something. It would be a good Valentine's Day movie. And so last year we did both the My Bloody Valentine movies, the original and the remake. So this year I was thinking, which movie could we pick for this year's Valentine's Day? And I thought of The Loved Ones or The Crush with Alicia Silverstone. And I'm like, well, The Loved Ones don't get talked a lot of, much. So I was like, let's just do that one. So maybe next year we'll do The Crush.
Yeah, and I just watched it last night. Interesting. We'll get in that. It's very different, which is refreshing. At the same time, but yeah, some of the kills, you see them all before, but I mean, they're done in a way that's at least appealing, not too much of a copycat type thing, I guess. But yeah, so The Loved Ones, it was made what year?
I think 2009,
I believe.
Yeah, and this is
2012.
and this is an Australian movie.
2012, mate, 83 minutes. That's a terrible accent. But yeah, when they start talking, I'm like, oh, it's definitely an Australian movie.
Well, you didn't get it when the kid's driving on the other side of the car?
Well, the desert's what gave it away. But, I mean, in Europe, they drive on the other side of the car. But the desert, because there's so much, freaking desert in Australia between the cities. But, yeah. Definitely had the Wolf movie?
Oh, Wolf Creek.
Yeah. Which is a good movie, too. So you watched The Loved Ones, and you told me all about it. You want to go through the premise of the movie?
So The Loved Ones tells the story of Lola, which her and the other characters are all high school students. And it's prom time, and Lola wants to ask Brent to go out with her to the prom, and he turns her down because he has a girlfriend. And
He turns her down nicely, too.
Yeah, he turns her down nicely because, he wants to go with his girlfriend. And so So she, feels rejected. And come to find out, Lola's actually kind of a psycho and wants to find the love of her life.
Yeah, there's a backstory. Brent, he was driving with his dad, and as they're driving down the highway, he's looking away, and they're talking to Dad, and he has to pay attention to a naked, bloody, cut-up guy in the middle of the road. So he freaks out, swerves, hits a tree. Find out later that his dad died. So fast forward to modern times, and Brent has issues because he felt responsible for his dad dying in the car accident. No one mentions about the naked, bloody guy anywhere, but the fact that he killed his dad. He's a cutter. He has a razor blade on a chain. He cuts himself. He has some struggles. In the beginning, his hair was all nice, and he has long hair, combed. He's clean, and now his hair's all greasy and not combed. And the whole movie, I'm like, dude, comb your hair, dude. I kept saying that, come here. But they made him look, like he just doesn't care. Holes in his shirts. Did you notice the holes in the Metallica shirt? Listen to heavy metal, death metal. And, but yeah, he has his girlfriend. And he denies poor Lola nicely.
Yes.
And then goes, has sex with his girlfriend in the car.
And she actually sees him.
Yeah, you
Lola
can see a little
yeah,
boob in there.
Yeah, and actually Lola sees him.
Lola's just standing outside the window
yeah,
like this.
Yeah, like
And that was creepy. I'm going, whoa, she's really you can tell the look on her face. Whoever played Lola, the girl, I don't know her name, but she did good. She did good. I wouldn't want to piss her off in real
yeah,
life.
she plays a good psycho.
So he's having find his demons. And then what happens?
They Lola and her dad kidnap Brent, and they take him back to their house, and they basically torture him. And all this other stuff happens, and it's pretty fucked up.
Well, I don't know how the Lola's dad is nuts too.
Yeah.
And he captures Brent, but how did they know where he was? They must have been following him.
Probably.
I'm guessing because, okay, you're in Australia. We were talking about this. The world's deadliest snakes, world's deadliest spiders, all this crap they got in Australia, okay? And Brent's climbing up this cliff, and it comes to a point to where you think he wants to commit suicide, but he's kind of on the verge. He doesn't really know if he wants to go through with it or not. And he climbs on the cliff, and I'm thinking, why in the hell are you climbing up a cliff of rocks, freehand, when there could be snakes, spiders, scorpions, whatever the fuck they got over there? That you can go up the very top, and there's a giant snake there that's going to bite you. Like, all the places to climb, I'm not climbing a place I can't see in Australia. That's just me of what I've seen of shows. And he climbs up there, and his point where he's hanging there purposely by his fingers. And he's debating.
Yeah, he's kind of leaning back.
Like he wants to, he's thinking about maybe let himself fall and kill himself. But then he really slips, and then he comes to, and you can tell that he wants to really survive. And it makes the top, and then out of nowhere, you see an arm with a rag cover his mouth, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? Well, it ends up being Lola's dad, but I'm like, how did they? So they had him follow him.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker you didn't tell me about. He has a dog with him, and the dog...
I forgot about the dog.
The next scene, the dog is actually limping up to the house, and they come out, the mom and I think the girlfriend are wondering where they're at. So Griffin goes to Brent's mom's house. And the dog's on, but the dog had been stabbed. So
he was
stabbed.
No, he killed him with the hammer. No, he beat him with the hammer.
Oh, they said stabbed in the movie.
Well, okay,
but they said, but the dog was limping and doing this, all bloody, and I'm like this right away. I'm like this tear. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you have to kill the dog?
This is where I draw the line when it comes to horror movies. Yes, I love watching teenagers and adults get slaughtered and that, but I draw the line at little kids and dogs, and it might be because I have a dog. You're a dog person too, and I have nephews that are in that little young, innocent age. So when it comes to kids and dogs in horror movies, I hate when they die.
The dog actually was the best acting performance. I really think so, because that dog, when it come up, and it was just it was all bloody and stuff. Looked like they broke the leg is what it looked like. It was limping up on its belly. And I was like, man, that dog really turned. And I'm like, tears started going. I'm like, what the hell?
So the dog should have won an Oscar for acting?
The dog should have been nominated for an Emmy, Golden Globe for the acting performance of that scene, yes. And then the dog ends up dying, which is really sad. So, yeah. But anyway, so poor Brent is taken by some dude we don't know yet. And then they keep flashing between Brent and his situation to Brent's friend is with this goth girl that she's going with them, and they're in school, and she starts grabbing his crotch in school in the middle of the dance. The teacher and principal tells them to go outside, so they fuck in the car in the school parking lot. And then they do a scene where the Lola's dad is walking out of the house, and then there's a face in the window of the best friend and the goth girl, but it's not. You think it was Lola's dad, the way they cut it, but it's the principal, and they're banging in the car, and he's like, not on school property, which is weird. So they bounce back and forth to the dance, which really doesn't make any sense.
I never really seen that much dancing in there.
Well, and I think they had to fill time to make a movie, because you can't just have a house of killing, so they fill in time, and then I think it's supposed to portray that the friends are getting worried because they're Brent and them and his girlfriend are showing up, because they flash back to Brent's girlfriend and the mom, and the goth girl's dad's the cop, right?
Yep.
So they're kind of like, where's Brent and what's going on type. So just a story in the beginning, but now where you're not going to not pay attention. So it's at least good enough to where you could stay in tune or whatever. But man, when they go back to the Brent's house, poor Brent's all tied up on a chair. Lola's getting ready for the prom. And yeah, you can explain this part. Since you were an asshole and didn't tell me about it.
Well, do you want me to ruin the whole movie for you? I mean, okay, so they're going to have prom at Lola's house for her and Brent. So Lola's dad comes into her bedroom with this pink dress, and he asked her, "We'll see if it fits." Well, she just starts undressing, like, right in front of her dad. And at first, he's kind of, like, looking down, like, no, I don't, I shouldn't be watching this. But then he's kind of, like, he's, like, looking. And it looked like he was, like, enjoying what he's seeing. They're, like, panning up from, like...
Right over her panties and butt
and then,
and stuff.
And then, up and, like... And he's just kind of standing there. And I don't know if it was like he's licking his lips. Like, he's like, yeah, I want some of that or what. But
I was waiting for the SVU thing. Dun, dun.
And then, so there's that part. Yeah, I'm like, what do you want me to tell you? The whole movie? So.
Well, yeah, so I texted him right away. What the fuck?
Kind of movie can me watch?
Exactly. And I'm like, what the hell? But at the same time, you could tell the dad
is kind of scared of her.
Scared of her. That the daughter rules the roost. That obviously loves her because that's his daughter. But it's like you could tell that he's kind of being forced into things that he normally... He has to do more than he wants to, kind of, but it's still creepy. But yeah, so she gets ready for prom, and they decorate the house. There's a disco ball in the living room / dining room. Because when I eat my canned ravioli, I want to have a disco ball.
No, they had KFC.
Well, I don't know if it was KFC. I think it was chicken. But she made a KFC reply.
Yeah, it was chicken. Yeah, it was chicken. That's what they were eating, and then
did they have KFC in Australia?
The bucket looked like a KFC bucket.
Oh, I didn't notice the bucket. I was watching the girl shove chicken in her mom's mouth. So there's a mom, but she has a hole right here. Well, at first I thought she was Indian.
Well, you don't know it's her mom at first because they just keep calling her like Blue Eyes.
Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes. Yeah, that's it. Black.
Which made me think of Bright Eyes from Planet of the Apes. But she has a thing in her head, and I thought she was. I didn't know that was like a drill or something, or I didn't realize it was a drill hole because it had been healed. And she's a mute. She just kind of like a zombie type thing. And the daughter really doesn't like the mom, or we didn't know at the time, but the lady. And obviously the dad keeps calling her Bright Eyes, and it's kind of weird and just kind of... And the daughter takes chicken and goes, "You want some?" Starts shoving in his mouth and goes, "Here you go," and make it. And the old lady's like, "All right," it's all down there. And I'm like, bleh. But then she takes the same chicken stick and sticks it in Brent's mouth and tries to get him to eat it.
Well, he doesn't eat it, and then she's like trying to stick her finger in his mouth, like, "Show me," like.
Is the finger looking good? Yeah. I'm like, oh, they're having KFC. So she goes, "Is the finger looking good?" And I'm like, they have KFC over there, which I didn't know. I don't know. Maybe they do, but it didn't look like KFC chicken. But yeah, she puts the finger in the mouth, and the dad gets all jealous. He's like, "This." She just she stops.
Yeah. The dad's like got a hammer sitting on the table, and he like kind of picks it up, and then like. She stops, and then he's like all chill with it. So you can kind of tell there's like some incest wanting to get on here in this movie.
A lot of sexual tension.
Yeah, a lot of sexual tension there between the dad and the daughter. I was
waiting for Dateline to break through the door.
What?
I was waiting for Dateline to break through the door. But it's not that bad. It's just, but there's a little uncomfortness there, which kind of adds to the move. The like they don't take it too far, which is good. So, but yeah, so. Poor Brent gets some torturing going on. You explain what they do to old poor Brent because he doesn't want to. He already turned her down, so therefore, since he turned her down, she's just gonna fuck him up.
Yep. So, I don't know what she has. They pulled this bottle up. It looked like bleach, but I don't know if it was actually bleach.
Well, I should rewound that because I didn't know what she was already in the bottle when I turned my head. It looked like more like a drain cleaner or something.
Yeah, it was something like that. So she puts it in the syringe and she injects it in his neck. And I don't know if it like fucked his vocal cords or something up or what. Because after that, like when he tries to scream or whatever, his voice is like all cracking, like he can't talk. So I don't know if it was something to damage his vocal cords,
or drug him
or what. Well then,
but if you have a cleaner like that, I think it would kill you if it's going directly into your vein.
Yeah.
T2. Remember, she takes the cleaner, hits it with the thing, and threatens the guy for the keys?
Yep.
And that would have killed him? So why wouldn't this kill somebody?
So like I said, I don't know what it was, what she injected him, but it messed his voice up. And then, well, then they have him tied up to a chair while he escapes.
Oh, tell her, how does he escape though? He kicks that bitch across the table.
Yeah, because
That was pretty good.
he has this necklace that's a razor blade that's what he's been using to cut himself. Well, he must have had it like somewhere where he could get to it, and he cut the ropes, and he kicks her the hell away from him. She goes flying across the
She
room.
does this kicker. She's in front, and he
Yeah.
takes both his legs and just goes wham, and she goes flying.
And then he takes off running. Well, then Lola's dad chases after him with the car, and he decides to run up a tree, and
the dumbest fucking thing you can do.
yeah,
I'm so irritated about that
just
part.
hopped over the fence.
Well, he was smart at first.
Well, yeah.
Brent hit under the car.
Yeah.
Because his feet were still bound.
Yep.
So he rolled under the car, and he was trying to get his feet or something.
Yeah.
The last rope's taken care of. So Dad gets the car and takes off. So he gets a cut and rolls all the way for the car starts
Yep.
moving.
And then he runs up a tree, and so then Lola and her dad are standing down there throwing rocks at him, and hits him, and he falls out of the tree, slams into the dad's car, and rolls off.
With his neck and his shoulder. This
yeah.
part hits the... I was like, oh, damn.
I was laughing. It was funny. Yeah, it's kind of
Like
funny.
a turd falling out. It
know.
hurt me watching it. But here's the thing. There's a tree. And a car's going probably 25 because the dad floored the gas. Okay? When he brings up the tree and the car hits the tree, he goes... like he barely does anything with the car. It would have damaged the car a little more. And the fact that... I know you're freaking out. You would not be rational, and you're just thinking you want to get away. But wouldn't you just go behind the tree so when the car hits the tree, the car will stop and you can just run off? No, the fucker goes up a tree. He corners himself. You never corner yourself. I mean, that's the dumbest thing you can do. And then when the dad's throwing rocks, Lola's like, Dad, let me do it. And she starts throwing rocks too. She's a ball player. She plays some softball. Because she could throw... She just knocked his ass out. Jim in the head with the rock and he just... falls.
So after they get him tied back up, they use steak knives, and they put his feet together and drive a steak knife through it and through the floor so he can't get up now. And then they decide to torture him some more, so she carves a heart in his chest and puts Lola on it. Then they throw throw some salt on his wounds.
Well...
And then the part that
Well, before that, he has to pee.
Oh yeah, he has to pee.
And she goes, "Do you have to go one or two?" And he goes, "One." So she takes a glass out right there in front of her dad, whips it out, and he goes, "Pee," and he can't do it. I mean, I couldn't pee with everybody watching me and being all mutilated because he's already been cut up from him, and they've already done stuff to him. And she counts to 10, and the dad gets a hammer and a nail. And this long nail and a hammer, he's standing behind him like this. And I'm thinking Silence of the Lambs, if you've ever seen that movie. And I'm going, oh, please don't put the nail through the penis like Silence of the Lambs. I'm like, please. Oh, not Silence of the Lambs, sorry. Serpent of the Rainbow. Serpent of the Rainbow. And I'm like this, please don't go there. And I'm already cringing on the couch. I'm like this.
And then when she finally gets to like 10, he like starts peeing, and then she says something like, "Oh, he's talking to me" or something. That's what it was.
Oh no, it's crying.
Yeah, that's
she
it.
said
It's crying.
It's crying.
It's crying for me.
And then the steak knives in the feet because he had gotten away. I think that was before he got away.
Yeah.
They peed. And then, but when they capture him again, not only did they take steak knives and they go wham, and they just your feet are stuck. No, it was one hit. And then she asked him a question. Another hit. He kept going back and forth to the feet like 4 different times. And I'm like, okay, stop. Yeah, and then she pulls out a scrapbook.
Of other
of
guys.
every victim ever since she was little. So ever since she was like in grade school almost. And then she turns and everyone has a heart with the LS in it. And everyone that's turned her down or didn't like her or something happened. She's looking for her true love, I think, yeah. So she gets and she goes, oh, that's the one that got away. Well, then you realize the guy that was in the middle of the road
at the beginning,
when Brent and his dad had a swerve around, that was the guy that got away, which they never found. So we don't know if they got recaptured. Well, they didn't get recaptured because they said he got away. So he died somehow, or they never found him. That was the guy that got away. And then he goes to the book. And she goes, "This is you," and shows him when he's all school picture or something like that. But yeah, when she cuts him, she goes salt. But she also throws bleach on him too. She takes cleaner, throws on. He's screaming, and I'm just like, okay, stop now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, poor kid, poor guy.
Then they decide they want to drill a hole in his head and dump hot boiling water in it to make him like I guess a zombie. I guess they watched the Jeffrey Dahmer movie or something. I don't know. And
That's when you find out the mom had the same thing. Yeah.
Bright Eyes. They did it to her.
Yeah, 'cause that's when you realize the hole in the head. And I'm like going, oh. And then, "Ma, can I do it, Daddy?" And she's like, oh. And she's trying to do it one-handed with the drill through a skull. And she fucks up. And she cuts the dad's hand or something happens. And then she's like, use two hands, dear. And he's like, it's kind of a weird situation between the two. And then she's making a hole, tries to pour water in it, spills it. And she's like, Daddy, can you make the hole bigger? I'm like, oh, God, don't. Please, what the fuck?
And then Brent finally gets enough courage to break free again, and he basically fucks both of them up getting out that time. He pulls his feet up through the knives. And then, he just starts going ape shit on both of them.
I wish I would have shown that, his feet coming up through that. I wish I would have had him do that. That'd been cool.
So he gets away, and Brent's reunited with his girlfriend and mom. And guess they live happily ever after. I don't know.
Oh, he didn't find that part out. But when he gets away, he does some stupid stuff. We find out there's a pit in the house, like a cellar. There's two trap doors, and they open up and they throw. What did they throw down originally?
I think it was like roadkill.
Yeah, they have like a rodent. They stop along the road and you see a girl's arm come out, and I thought it was a hand that they grabbed, but it must have been like a rodent of some type. They throw out a cellar, you could hear like moans, like almost zombie type things. So all the victims were kept down there from previous times, and the doors were open, and the dad and him a big fight. So the dad gets something coming to him, falls in the thing. He knocks out the girl, or so he says. And what's the rule when you get someone down? You keep them down. You don't just hit them once and, you're knocked out because they always come back. No, you keep them out. And so the dad's in the cellar. Now the girl's fucking freaking out. And the poor guy is sitting over the cellar, and I'm like this going like, dude, the girl, she's come back for more. We got this open door. She just takes him and fucking wrestles him and knocks him in the pit. And now he's down there with zombies. I'm like, what the fuck, poor guy, do? Now he's got to fight whatever the hell these things are and shit, and escape from them or die or whatever she's gonna do. And they got a psycho bitch that she ends up fucking taking him. What you think? Take him out. He's in the pit. So Brent's in this pit with these guys. The zombie things are preoccupied eating the dad. She's up there crying. She gets mad. What does she do? Throws the hammer, because they use a hammer to threaten the guy. Throws a hammer down there, so now the kid's got a weapon. Brent's got a weapon. Throws a bucket. Throws a flashlight, a big fucking flashlight down there. So now he's got a flashlight and a weapon to help him out, which is so stupid. But in her rage, she's just going to grab whatever she has and throw it down there. I'm like, okay, now he's got a weapon and a flashlight, so obviously he can see it. He's got a weapon. And then the only part that I didn't like, we just discussed this. He's down there with these zombie creatures, and we don't know if they're going to eat him or not. Did you think they were going to attack Brent?
I don't.
These people. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But he freaks out. He's in the corner watching them eat. And I'm thinking, man, there's 4 of them. I said, go crack him in the back of the head. That's what I'm thinking. But he's freaked out. Well, they start coming at him. Like, they're all kind of coming at him. But you don't know if they're going to attack him or they're trying to figure out if he's new to the clan, the zombie clan, or whatever the fuck they do down there. And, she just kind of closes the cellar and goes away. Well, she goes, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna kill your mom
and your girlfriend,
and then I'm gonna stab your girlfriend in the heart. And then she leaves. And then so the ending actually was pretty cool. Kind of reminds you of High Tension a little bit. A little bit of the car scene. So Psycho Girl goes out. What does she do? She goes after the girlfriend. You didn't like that scene, the ending? It was basic, but it was cool.
Yeah.
It fit how psycho she was. I mean, did you like the ending? You want to tell them the ending?
All they do is run her over with the car.
Well, it's how it's done. I liked how it was done. So, Brent escapes. Oh, the girlfriend's coming. Somehow they find out where the Brent is. They figure out that Lola is the only possible explanation why they could be missing. So they're gonna go check out the house. Dad, the police officer, went there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets taken out because he makes so much noise in the house that he gets taken out. Does he goes in the pit too?
No.
I can't remember. He gets killed. Brent's girlfriend is now driving towards the house. I'm like, how many people are going to go to this fucking house? Lola's walking down the road all bloody. Walking down this long fucking road, 2-lane road with desert everywhere. And she's going to go kill the mom and the girlfriend. And then Brent's girlfriend sees her, turns out of the way. And, no. Lola's carrying the book, the scrapbook, and whatever weapon she had. And then she sees the car coming, so she hides. And she throws the book at the car so you hear a thud. So, of course, Brent's girlfriend stops. What was that? What was that? Oh, my God. I didn't hit nothing, but I heard a noise. Got to stop. I'm thinking, oh, God, here we go again.
It's not that dramatic.
No, but that's my impression. And then there's pages of the scrapbook flying all over. And then also the door opens. There's Lola all bloody standing there. And then they have a fight. And they're freaking out. And Brent's girlfriend get chased down the road by Lola. And all of a sudden, here comes a cop car. And Mr. Brent escapes. And what happens? Tell what happens. I love the ending of this.
So he hits Lola, and she just goes flying over the car and then hits the ground. And Brent's girlfriend gets in the car, and
It does this.
Yeah,
hey, bro, what the fuck happened to you?
They're like talking or whatever. Well, then you see Lola still alive, but she's all fucked up, mangled.
You didn't like that part where she's fucked up, mangled. They did. Her wrist was broken, so she's crawling like this on the ground, like
towards the cop car.
With their bones sticking out.
Well, then Brent decides he's had enough of this shit, so he puts the car in reverse, and you just kind of see the back of the car come at her from her point of view, and then you see her head smack the back bumper, and that's it.
I thought they did a good job on that. Like, they didn't have to crush the head because we've seen it how many times in movies, but the fact that last little clip of the bumper and the blood go thump, I think that was a nice added touch. But I loved her walking, like crawling on the ground, because she's so evil. She just did she still have the weapon in her hand too?
I don't.
But I think this wrist was broken, but you can see the bone sticking out. So she had to crawl like this and keep her hand like that to keep obviously the look of it broken. She's all fucked up. I thought that was actually a pretty cool scene. Like, the bitch wasn't giving up. She was not giving up. She was gonna fuck someone up or die, and obviously, but I don't know. I was pretty impressed. I thought, okay, Kyle's gonna watch some stupid ass movie that he liked, probably some boobs in there, a cute girl that he liked, and that's why he liked it. And no, actually, it was a pretty decent movie.
Well, your wife said it was dumb.
Yeah, but she thinks every movie's dumb. So, I mean, I watch it different than I would, just a regular movie. But yeah, so The Loved Ones, brutal, bloody, and black as all hell. And that's the blue crap. So the blue Kool-Aid, or I still want to know what that was.
I don't know.
Because they didn't kill him, which is weird. So it just made him, I don't know.
It like messed his vocal cords up or something.
They didn't really make him a zombie because he escaped twice. So they need to use better rope for one, because it's like twine and they could get through it.
Or pat somebody down. It was like you didn't realize he had a razor blade on him.
And then the creepy thing between we forgot one major part. Lola can't find the true love, and she gets her heart broken, has to kill all the people that she thought she liked. And what does she finally come to the realization?
That the love of her life is her dad. Yeah, like I said, there's some of that incest shit going on.
Because I almost turned it off, because the part where before he escapes the second time, and all hell breaks loose, and he fights back and all that, she asks the dad to dance. They're dancing, and she's like, you know why I never find anybody? Because I realized you're the true love of my life. And then they get real close, like they're gonna kiss, and I'm like this. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Okay, I'm done with the movie. And then they pan away.
Yeah.
Then they pan away to Brent cutting with his razor blade to get out. So I'm like, okay, because I was about to shut the motherfucker off.
I mean, come on, man, that ain't that.
I don't want to see him kiss. Just implying the fact that they're, but they give you just a little bit of grossness in that aspect, and then they go back to so. And it did add to the creepy, crazy factor that the dad, she controlled the dad, obviously. But who started it? did the egg come for the chicken laid the egg type thing. So the dad, mess with the kid and make her warped, and now she controls the dad, or just the kid just psycho and will love her dad the whole time and the way you're not supposed to. I don't know. It was weird, creepy, but.
So, what would you give The Loved Ones for?
2012, 83-minute long movie, The Loved Ones. The characters were good. You could understand everything. The movie, kind of a blah story in the beginning. Some of the characters didn't make any sense, going back and forth type thing. But actually, it was actually surprisingly good. It was surprisingly good. It is a different take on it's more like a Hills Have Eyes movies where you got people that are just psycho, want to mutilate people for pissing them off or whatever. It's in that category for me. I would give it 3 blood drops out of 5. It's different. It's good. It's kind of fun to watch the kills because the way they interact with each other, it's still gross and creepy at the same time. So it's got a little bit of everything. I think if they would have, upped it a little bit and put a little more story, maybe a little more gore in there, maybe you can see her torturing other people in the past, maybe it would have bumped it up even higher, but a solid 3 out of 5 blood drops, I think you were dead on. It's because Cal's smart.
Yeah, I know I'm smart, I know things. That's a Star Trek reference. Well, thanks to my wife for that one.
So what would you give The Loved Ones?
So, when I watched Drum Dum's review for this, he's classified it as a slasher, but I don't really get any slasher vibes from it.
More of a torture movie.
Yeah, more of a torture movie. Like I said, I liked Lola. Actually, I seen her in the that Western Hell on Wheels. That's where I first seen her, and then I realized she was in this movie, so I was like, okay, that kind of piqued my interest.
And the goth girl you said was in...
the goth girl in here is actually Sonya Blade in the newest Mortal Kombat movie.
She was the best looking of the whole cast.
I mean, I liked it. This is actually only the second time I've seen this. I watched it when I first bought it, and then I watched it again right before this review. So that's only really the second time I've seen this movie. I'd give it 3 out of 5. Blood drops. Also, it's not like, it does start off slow, but then once Lola's full psycho, you're like, oh shit! Like she's one chick you don't want to fuck with.
No.
And my only thing is, Lola actually is better looking than Brent's actual girlfriend. I would have been like, okay, until I realized she was fucking psycho, and then I would have said no. But yeah, 3 out of 5 for me. Like I said, this is something that, it's not the greatest movie, but it's not the worst. It'd be a one-time watch. If you want to check it out, it'd be at least a good one-time watch.
No, I'm going to buy it.
You want to buy it?
I think I'm going to buy it. I think I would watch it. Just one of those ones where you just watch just to see her be psycho and fuck some people up. But
actually, the first time when I went to buy this, I bought it on Blu-ray, and it gets to my house from Amazon, and it's the actual Australian version, and it wouldn't play on my Blu-ray player, so I had to send it back and get the American DVD version because they didn't really explain it was the Australian.
How much
version.
was it?
I think it was only like $10.
Yeah, definitely worth $10. So if you have not seen The Loved Ones, a little bit of everything. Kills. The story is actually pretty good. It's slow in the beginning, but the way they tie the story in throughout, they did a good job of actually adding a decent story with good kills. You get to see a boob shot. So they have and a little bit of comedy. So you have the ones. You have horror, you have gore, little boobs, a little bit of boob, and a little bit of a comedy. And you have story. So you have the 4 main good things for a movie. So it's pretty solid. So yeah. Check out The Loved Ones. Got Amazon for $10.
Yep.
I am going to order mine today, and it was worth buying. So, until next time,
stay bloody.
Just stay out of her fucking way. That's for damn sure. All right, we're back. We lied. It's not over yet. I went to Amazon to buy the video or the DVD of The Loved Ones, and it was $12. And what did we find?
An unrated version.
For $10. $9.95 on Amazon. An unrated version that I just ordered. So, I'll have to check that out and see how that is. So stay tuned.